A fine London drizzle misted the air on Bond Street, polishing the black asphalt to a mirror-like sheen. The autumn air was crisp, carrying the scent of damp wool coats and expensive perfume. Nestled between heritage brands and modern art galleries stood the House of Aurelian, its name etched in discreet gold leaf above a heavy oak door. It did not shout its presence. It whispered its prestige. Inside, the world was silent and warm. Plush, dove-gray carpets absorbed every sound, and the soft glow from hidden fixtures illuminated display cases like sacred altars. Each piece of jewelry a sapphire ring, a string of pearls, a diamond brooch rested on dark velvet, a universe of captured light. A woman stepped through the door, the bell chiming softly, almost apologetically. She was of an indeterminate age, her features elegant but unadorned. She wore a simple, well-made trench coat over a cashmere sweater and dark trousers. Her shoes were sensible leather loafers, creased from years of comfortable wear. A plain leather tote bag, its straps softened with use, was slung over her shoulder. Her name was Ava Sterling, and she paused for a moment, not to admire the grandeur she herself had orchestrated, but to observe. Her eyes, sharp and discerning, caught a detail no customer would notice: a single fingerprint smudging the glass of the main display. A minor flaw, but in a world built on perfection, it was a crack in the facade. She moved deeper into the store, her steps measured and quiet. A young man in a tailored suit was busy polishing silver cufflinks, his movements precise. A few customers were already present. A young couple examining engagement rings with a rapturous consultant, and two older women sipping champagne while admiring a set of emerald earrings. Ava's destination was a singular display in the heart of the room, a custom-built, temperature-controlled vitrine of brushed bronze and reinforced glass. Inside, on a pedestal of black silk, lay a single necklace, the star of Lyra, breathtaking pear-shaped diamond of impossible clarity, suspended from a delicate platinum chain studded with smaller, perfectly matched stones. It was the crown jewel of Aurelian, a piece she had personally acquired from a mine in Botswana and overseen its design from initial sketch to final polish. As she approached, a figure glided towards her, a practiced smile already in place. "Good morning. Welcome to Aurelian. May I help you find something?" The woman was the store manager, Penelope Finch. She was the very image of Bond Street elegance. A severe but stylish black dress, razor-sharp heels, and blonde hair pulled into a chignon so tight it seemed to pull at her temples. Her smile was a perfect curve, but it didn't reach her pale blue eyes. "I'd like a closer look at the Star of Lyra, please," Ava said, her voice calm and even. The change in Penelope's demeanor was subtle, but immediate. Her smile held its shape, but her eyes flickered down, taking in Ava's simple coat, her practical shoes, the unbranded tote bag. The assessment was swift and dismissive, a beat of silence. "Of course," Penelope said. though she made no move towards the case. The Star of Lyra is a piece of historical significance. As you can imagine, viewings are typically arranged by private appointment. I prefer to browse in person, Ava replied, her gaze unwavering. Penelope's smile tightened. I understand. Perhaps I could interest you in our Starlight collection. It features some truly exquisite modern designs, much more accessible for an afternoon's shopping. She gestured vaguely towards a brightly lit counter near the entrance. The implication was clear. That is where you belong. I came to see the Star of Lyra, Ava repeated, her tone unchanged, but now carrying a new weight. Penelope's professional veneer began to crack. She took a half-step back, creating a physical barrier between Ava and the masterpiece. Ma'am, with all due respect, that is a 7-figure piece. We have a strict policy. We must ensure we are dedicating our time to serious inquiries. And what makes you believe my inquiry is not serious? Ava asked. The question hung in the silent, perfumed air. It's not personal, Penelope said, her voice becoming brittle. It's simply procedure for items of that value. We must protect the integrity of the collection. The integrity of the collection, Ava echoed softly, or the image of your clientele. At that moment, the two women sipping champagne laughed at something their consultant said. Penelope glanced at them, her expression softening instantly into one of warmth and camaraderie, before turning back to Ava, her face a cold mask once more. The contrast was not lost on Ava. She had spent 2 decades building this brand on a single principle: that luxury was not about exclusion, but about the beauty of the craft and the dignity of the customer, every customer. I see, Ava said, a quiet finality in her voice. You have your procedures. She reached into her tote bag. Penelope tensed, perhaps expecting a wallet to be produced for inspection. Instead, Ava pulled out her phone. I am not going to waste any more of your time, Penelope said, her voice sharp with impatience. If you are not here to purchase something from our available collections, I must ask you to leave. You are making the other clients uncomfortable. I assure you, Ava said, her thumb tapping the screen, no one will be more uncomfortable than you in about 60 seconds. She pressed the call button. Penelope scoffed, crossing her arms. Who are you calling? Security? No, Ava said, putting the phone to her ear. I'm calling my COO. The call connected. David. It's Ava. Yes, Ava Sterling. We have a critical failure in protocol at the Bond Street flagship. I need you to initiate a full management review, effective immediately. No, I'm here now. I'll handle the termination myself. The name. Ava Sterling dropped into the silence of the store, like a stone into a still pond. Penelope froze. The color drained from her face, leaving a splotchy, panicked red. She stared at the woman in the simple trench coat, the woman she had dismissed, judged, and tried to eject. the founder, the owner, the final authority. The young man polishing cufflinks had stopped, his rag held mid-air. The consultants had fallen silent. Even the couple looking at rings had turned to watch. Ava ended the call and slipped the phone back into her bag. She looked directly at Penelope, her eyes not filled with anger, but with a deep, profound disappointment. "You didn't ask my name," Ava said, her voice low but carrying across the entire store. "You didn't ask what I was looking for. You looked at my clothes and made a judgment. In my house, you made me feel unwelcome." I didn't know," Penelope stammered, her composure shattered. "I swear, I had no idea." "That is the point," Ava cut in, her voice like ice. "You shouldn't have to know who I am. The name Aurelian on that door is supposed to be a promise of respect. A promise you just broke." She turned her gaze to the young man who had been polishing cufflinks. "Liam, is it?" He nodded, swallowing hard. "Yes, Ms. Sterling. You will be the acting manager of this store, effective immediately. Human Resources will be in touch this afternoon." She then looked at the consultant who had been serving the couple with such warmth. "And you, Sarah, are the new assistant manager. Your dedication has been noted." Finally, she turned back to Penelope, whose face had crumpled into a mask of disbelief and horror. "You may collect your personal belongings," Ava said quietly. "Your employment with the House of Aurelian is terminated." Without another word, Penelope turned and walked stiffly towards the staff offices in the back, her sharp heels silent on the plush carpet. The aura of power she had wielded just moments before had evaporated completely. A hush fell over the store. Ava took a slow breath, the tension leaving her shoulders. She felt no triumph, only the weary weight of responsibility. She walked over to the main display, the one with the fingerprint, pulled a soft cloth from her coat pocket, and carefully wiped the smudge away until the glass was perfect once more. She then walked to the Star of Lyra display. Liam, now the acting manager, hurried over with the key, his hands trembling slightly. He unlocked the vitrine. Ava reached in, her fingers gently lifting the magnificent necklace from its silk bed. It felt cool and heavy in her hands, a cascade of pure light. She didn't put it on. She simply held it, looking not at the diamond, but at its reflection in the eyes of the staff now watching her, a reflection of fear, respect, and a lesson learned in the hardest way possible. The standard had been restored. The house was clean again.